Let's continue now with the detailing of the cladding and finishes in the interior and exterior areas of the building. So let's go back to our view map and the detailed floor finishes folder and make a copy of the view we already have there and place it onto the detailed cladding and partitions. Now let's work on this one here and let's zoom in into the core area of the building right here. So the first thing we'll do is to create a curtain wall that is going to be reflecting the finishes for claddings around the core of the building. But as we did with the flooring, we're going to make sure that that is divided depending on the zones. And that's going to help later on with the assignment of the elements for each space. So let's start by going into the curtain wall tool. And let's navigate to the favorite folder containing the claddings. And let's start by using the interior timber cladding option. Now, as we do, let's make sure that you're not longer using the boundary geometry method, but rather the polyline geometry method. And let's start by building a single curtain wall across the door right here. So I'm going to start on the left-hand side. Then around the corner here, and let's finish it right at this corner. So with that, we've got a full curtain wall going across. Later on, we're going to have to open the space for this opening right here. Let's go and navigate to the 3D window. And that's what you have as a result. Now, it might be falling too short, so let's increase the size in here, either by pulling this up using this option on the bed palette, or simply by changing the top limit to 4 meters 150, like so. Now let's make sure we have enough space for the door. So let's zoom in into this area right here. Select the curtain wall and click on Edit. Now let's select this frame right here and wait for the blue icons to show up and select the right-hand side just to move all the aligned frames at the same time, like so. And then let's move it from the hotspot to the right-hand side. And let's align this with the edge of the concrete, right about there. And let's do the same on the left-hand side. Click on it, then select all the aligned options and move it to the edge of the concrete. Now let's click on Exit. And let's go to the 3D window. And let's see what has happened. So what we just did is we have moved the width of these two, hopefully you can see there, these two panels, this one and this one here, which are obviously much wider than the rest. So what we're going to do next is click on Edit and select these 3 panels right there and hit Delete. With that, we're starting to create the opening for the door to be visible. The next thing we'll do is do the same thing with the panels below. And then with the frames. And hit Delete. Now you'll see that the frames are going to be slightly visible, and that's going to be just fine. We just need to adjust the extent in which the frames are covered by the panels. So in order to do that, just select, for instance, this frame right here, and perhaps the small piece we have below. And right here in the panel slot dimension, let's make sure we close this gap from 5 millimeters to minus 20. That's given because of the frame width which is 40 millimeters, and the panel is measured from the center. So we're going to cover the rest of it by typing -20, like so. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with these other frames over here. Like so. And type -20. There you go. Let's click on exit. And now we should have an opening for the door. Let's go back to the plan view. And now I'm going to do the same thing to cover this area right here. Like so. Note that we're going to leave the cafe area empty for now, as that's going to be part of another tenancy.